right, everyone. Welcome back. After a small bit of a break right there, we're in our second series of the day here for the Summit 2, brought to you by G2A.com, the Americas division. And right now, we're going to have a matchup between the HotHands hand warmers going against Team Leviathan, or formerly known as Flipside Tactics NA. They have dropped their sponsor and will now be known as Leviathan. The more you know. Beyond the Summits, bringing you the coverage, I am Coddle Guy, but joining me once again, it's going to be Kevin, also known as F4L. Welcome back, my friend. How you feeling?
Good.
Great.
Should be an interesting set of games.
Why do you say that?
I don't know.
Okay. Thank you, though.
I hope so.
No, you know what? I can tell you why it's going to be interesting. These teams have a small bit of history. They haven't played together a whole lot, but the last time they did clash, mind you, was back in August 27th. This was during the Canada Cup Season 3 qualifiers. They were in the semifinals, so just one game away from making it into the Canada Cup, and it was the HotHands handwarmers who took them down. It was just a best of one, so there's a small bit of revenge right here, I guess, if you want to try to make something out of it. But, you know, it should be neat to see these teams go back at it toe-to-toe. There is a small bit of change in roster, though. I don't know how much HotHands have actually changed up. It was on the back of their Monib Meepo the last time they went. He actually brought in a sporting 27-8 record that game, but they don't have the benefit of him this go-around. So this should be an interesting one, if I say so myself.
Reserve time.
Yeah, I've played with him in NEL a couple times. He played a lot of Tinker and Meepo.
This is why I have you here. I need you to give me the dirt.
He's not... But it looks like he's not playing with them today.
No.
I don't know if he's just not playing with them anymore, or if he's just not here today.
Yeah, I'm not really up to snuff on my HotHands history here, unfortunately.
Looks like we're going to have a Drovisage.
Oh, yeah. All right. The El
Sometimes.
Clasico, the Cloud9 go-to, though many teams have inherited this kind of play style, but they're just kind of throwing their strategy right out there.
This now.
So if you're on the other side, you tell me. You see this combo, what's your first thought?
Well, you have to have like good team fight, I think, because Drovisage is really strong at taking towers, and this Visage can like get rolling. But if you have like strong AoE, you can sort of deal with these heroes. I also think they should pick Terrorblade, actually. I'm actually surprised it wasn't banned. I think this hero is like absurd right now.
Yes.
And like if you just watch like C9,
oh yeah.
I think did Alliance play it? I don't think they've played it, but it's been banned against them a couple times. But, I mean, just the amount of damage that this hero does with no items. Like, it's not even with items. It's just, like, just the amount of damage it does with nothing is insane.
If you let a Terrorblade do what he wants, it's going to come back to bite you in the ass. That's just without giving. And if you don't believe it, you should pretty much watch any of Cloud9's recent games. Any opportunity they have to grab it in the draft, they will do so and hand it over to Eternal Envy, who has been doing vicious work with it, and notably so gets that respect band each time. So, you know, it's one of those things now. Players are just considering getting it out from the start. I would put Terrorblade and Death Prophet as the 1 and 2 right now as far as top priority picks and bans in this patch. Right now as it stands, we have a long road ahead of us to mold this new meta, but those two heroes I've just seen make the biggest impact in any game. But, yeah, it has been Cloud9. Alliance is more like fallback on. They just love the Naga. They just like farming up. It's not the most aesthetically pleasing games to see, but there's still heavy strategy involved. It's still very crucial. And the important thing is you got to get the win, and those are the heroes that can get it done for you.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to get the Void, so they're going to go with that AoE teamfight
5 seconds
hero.
I like it. I mean,
and they're banning the Void counters. They're banning the Wraith King core, or support, I guess, in the Venge.
I've seen many times where Venge has just ruined the game plan for a Void. Just a quick swap out, and what you intended to do is just completely ruined. And it's interesting they banned out the Skywrath Mages themselves, but this still leaves up like a Witch Doctor if they wanted to go with one of those corny kind of combos, lay down the Death Ward and let it just kind of go to town while he's in there. pummeling away. But Void is not the top pick he's once was, though many teams still utilize him very strongly, and with good reason. He still has everything he wants. There's just a bit of changes, and there's been other heroes now that have kind of taken his place as far as the first pick, first ban worthy. So Leviathan get a hold of him. They get a hold of the Brew as well, who's going to more than likely be their mid lane setup. After HotHands have already acquired their Drow Ranger Visage combo, they move on to the Viper, who can definitely take a big beating. If he does get jumped by Faceless Void, and if he does not get jumped, he can still contribute a lot from the outside. He's a mech holder, so he'll be able to keep a little survivability with the team, and of course he will add a lot with that Viper strike on Void himself, preventing him from not getting off the optimal damage and being kited out.
Yeah, and Viper, it's pretty standard actually for Viper to be picked up with Drow and Visage. Viper becomes like an actual carry when he has he gets 70 damage in the mid game from Drow, which is pretty insane, and then he's so tanky already. So
it's ridiculous. The birds too. The birds just get so insanely swole. It's plus, I don't even know. It's ridiculous. And your towers.
At least you can kill the birds.
Yeah, that's the other thing is you can also step back and get someone who can clear out birds easily. They haven't really gone for it yet. Their Disruptor Grab is going to be the third pick, which is interesting. I love the hero. I play him pretty frequently as a support player myself, but he seems more situational. We don't see him as much anymore because we don't see Tinker as much anymore. Maybe if you're going against kind of a Wisp lineup, that might help out a bit. Anything to really utilize the Glimpse works, but the Silence is fantastic. You put that together with the Chrono, it could be good. Teams have also gone with a Naga, so you can have the Sleep and set it up with a Static Storm, which would be nice. So we'll see how much they tend to utilize it. And yeah,
that hero is so hit or miss.
Yeah. That's the thing.
I've always noticed, it either feeds. I mean, if you have a bad start in this hero, your game impact is going to be minimal, I think, because it's just the hero how it functions. It doesn't really have good comeback mechanics. Sure, you might be able to get a few pickoffs with Glimpse. I mean, that's going to happen every game. But it just feels like when you're behind on this hero, it's like a nightmare to play because you're just easy pickings for any of these heroes. You could probably even just get caught out with Visage Birds, with Drow Aura, and you might even just die.
Yeah, when he has a lot of aggression coming right at him, there's only so much you could do. You could Desperation Glimpse if possible, but if they're at that point where they already have their BKBs or what have you, then you're just screwed, and you're weak as it is, and you're trying to gallop away on your little critter, and it's not going to be any good. But here we go. The second time today, we're going to see an Ursa. I never saw him before today, and now we're going to get him twice here. Leviathan, pick him up.
5 seconds remaining.
I don't actually like Ursa here. Mainly because they have this Void pick, and they already have a Brewmaster, so they had 2 melee cores already. Yeah. So now they have a 3rd melee core. So that's putting a lot of pressure on this Void to get Chronos that allow the melee heroes to still do damage.
Dire team ban.
I mean, because what does Ursa do if you Chrono and then he can't attack? He's just sitting there,
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. That's a bit finicky there for the Faceless Void as far as what you want to do with it as far as follow-up, because, yeah, it's tricky. On the other side, they have plenty of range, so if you don't land a good Chrono and don't catch everyone, they're going to be doing more damage than your own team will be able to output onto the enemy, so that's rough. That's rough indeed. And now a Tidehunter grab, the Watermelon Man, if you will, is going to be a good team fight impact, and more than likely their offlaner. We already talked about everything that he had been missing out in his old offlane days, but HotHands are opt to pick him up here. And on the Radiant side, it's more or less going to be the same, just soak in as much damage. If necessary, you can mingle yourself over the Ancients and stack them a bit and work with them later, but ideally the same as you would expect out of maybe your Tides or your Centaurs. Is get a hold of a Blink Dagger and really make a huge impact, which we saw earlier from Ziz's team. They had the refresher online and available before even 30 minutes, and it was just a shit show.
Reserve time.
Lion, that's a good pick. They needed something to deal with this Brewmaster, because before the Lion pick, they actually only had the Drow Silence. And I mean Ravage too, but that's not really
reliable.
You're probably not killing a Brewmaster during Ravage anyways, so definitely a strong pickup, and it actually is quite good against this Ursa too.
Yeah, the lockdown works. Just adds a little more pressure for Leviathan's team to get BKBs and get some sort of defense, because he'll be right there to
10 seconds
lock you in your place and then deal out the big fingers and the big burst damage. And that's going to be a nightmare as well for Disruptor. But Yeah, definitely favoring HotHands right here. It's a
Reserve
formidable
time.
draft, and, well, look at this spicy lady right here. Lena going to be the last grab, the last
Lena.
support pickup. She got altered again a little bit more, and then a little bit more. Her range was increased, and I can't quite remember what it was changed in the most recent 6.82. I know it was something for the better. I want to say casting point or quickness or something about light strike array. It was something with light strike array. I want to say you can cast
Oh,
a
they
little
buffed
faster.
the duration.
Oh, the duration.
No, the stun duration, I think, right?
I don't know. I don't have the time to alt
Or was
tab
that
right
on?
now.
Yeah, it was, because it's 2.2
Prepare
seconds
for
at
battle.
the max level, and it used to be 2, I think.
All right, fantastic. Let's go ahead and get into this one, folks. This is a best of 3. The winning team will move on to the semifinals of this qualifier and one step closer to getting into the Summit 2 tournament by G2A.com. Leading off your Radiant side, it's the HotHands Hand Warmers, the team that qualified into the Canada Cup but then unfortunately got knocked out by Complexity. But they're back again and hoping to put on a bigger performance. It's Cheech leading out the front on the Drow. Right behind, it's going to be Mellison. Caliente playing your Visage. Right behind, it's Mr. Frogos. This guy let me know that I actually casted his first pro game, or maybe pro game, first official game in the Amateur Dota 2 League, so I'll try not to be biased for him, and if he does bad, I'm just going to let him know.
30 seconds.
Pandas
to battle.
Dota is playing your Tidehunter, and finally behind that, it's Drop playing your Viper.
Yep, and then on Dire we have Shibi playing the solo mid Brewmaster. Sunken on the support Lina with Nushem playing the Disruptor. Shredder on the Ursa, and Jenkins on the Faceless Void.
Yep. And as the rotation finishes
Now, one
out
thing-
here, I was going to say HotHands
Oh,
didn't find
looks
The
anything.
like they
battle
might-
begins.
Run into each other here.
It's a double damage at the bottom. Nushem's going to go for it here. Shredder is right on it as well. And they're going to see if they want to save it out for a potential early gank. And they grab it right there as Visage was lingering nearby. So no early aggression by other team. And wow, Ursa, that is the Alpine set.
Yeah, that's the Alpine set.
Wow, that guy he's wealthy. How the hell did he get hold of that one?
So,
Or he's been in the game for
like, you
quite a
know,
while.
$1,500 or something.
Holy
like that.
moly, can we just take a moment to just look at this thing? Folks, you're not going to see this set very often. I mean, we already don't see the hero enough, but look at this cowboy right here. I like it. Very nice stuff. That's my first time ever seeing it in game, to be honest with you. Very cool.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool set.
All right, well, as far as lane matchups go, it's going to be Viper going against Brew. Viper's pretty content with this matchup. It is, like you see right here, he's going to bully the hell out of this Brew Master, and he's going to be forced to use up those tangos pretty early. So rough days for him in this mid lane.
So one thing I wanted to talk about with this draft, I'm kind of worried for Leviathan's support heroes. Like, if this lane doesn't work out for them, they're going to have a lot of trouble finding things to do. Like, what does the Lina and Disruptor do together? There's no setup for the Lina stun. You know, it's going to be hard to catch
Yeah.
people out. I mean, they have the glimpse, but
You don't really
that's
know where
about
it's
it.
going to go, and that's
Yeah.
banking on timing and execution to even make it land properly. So, I mean,
That is, like, really hard to
yeah,
do.
that's
to,
like as hard as like a
into
glimpse,
light
glimpse
strike array.
arrow is like it's like the same thing. It's not going to be the best thing, but maybe if they can lead out with the Lina stun first and then drop a kinetic field, they can try
Yeah.
to make something work with that. But yeah, I agree. It's going to be odd. But look at this TP in. Void is done with top lane. They do an audible call and switch it up. They're going to throw the Cowboy Ursa up to the top lane now to go toe to toe with the Tidehunter, and they bring Void down here as part of this aggressive try. What do you think about this switch?
It's probably an okay idea. I think Ursa might do a bit better against Tide. I actually think Void does perfectly fine against Tide. You get a Quelling Blade and it pretty much negates the Anchor Smash. And then you can see us just fine.
Well, he's already bullying Tidehunter out of the lane, so I think they want to go a little more aggressive with their top lane play right now. But for the bottom lane, this is the lane we're going to have to keep on. I would imagine this is where the action's going to hit. Both teams have favorable supports. Visage is hasted right now, and they're thinking about making it go right now on Sunken. The Lina. Kinetic Field's going to drop, but they can't quite stop it. One more auto attack gets it done. It's Cheech picking up your first blood on that Drow, and they're very happy with that. And they got to be careful here with Disruptor is. No, they are going to be able to turn back right here, and now it's Frogos gets caught out now, stunned to save his life, but not going to get away. Already 2-1 now, and they still don't stop. Lina moves in, does miss the stun, unfortunately, but eats the soul assumption, already down to half life. And I was just going to say you want to keep your eyes on this lane because it's going to pop off real quick, and there it is.
Oh, there was a kill on top lane. Solo kill by the Ursa on the Tidehunter.
Damn fight recap I was looking at. Oh, well, top lane, yeah. There you go. That's probably the better reason why they did switch the lanes. It's Shredder who's able to take control of this top lane and send Tidehunter packing, and now he's forced to TP back into this one. And that's you don't want that. One, you're much further away from getting optimal Tidehunter farm, and two, this Ursa is getting more farm, and this can allow him to maybe consider going for an early Blink Dagger and going for a prime initiation and ripping apart, and then eventually moving on to getting an early Roshan. It's a hero that would love to snowball in this game.
Unfortunately for him, he's not going to be able to do Rosh quite as early as like you see in pubs and stuff, because he's a laning Ursa, so he has more points in Earthshock. I don't know if he's going to max it or keep it at 2, but the Rosh gets delayed a little bit when you go for this build.
So he'll offer more team fights and being in the action and laying it out for the meantime.
Not this time.
Nothing wrong on that, as after the 4-minute rune, it was grabbed up on the bottom, the illusion there from Nusham. And he returns as a disruptor to the bottom lane, trying to contest any sort of side pull action here, but still just a little harassment from both sides, nothing too significant. Disruptor is one of those heroes who has a lot of utility but needs a lot of levels before he can actually use all of that. And right now he's doing a bit of harassment here. And they're returning fire. Cheech is making a go on Lina, but he gets caught out with a stun and will have to pull back. Oh, one more right click would do it, and Jenkins wants it, but it's actually Nusham who gets the last hit in there. And now they're turning their... Oh, nice glimpse all the way back. Visage is done for. Double kill for the Disruptor. Man, you don't see that very often, but he gets it done. And I was just talking about his utility, and there it is. Thunderstrike gets the first kill, and that sweet glimpse back still brings him far, far in. The AoE is really low at level 1, but if you're close enough, you can get a quick pick-off like that.
Really unfortunate for Radiant. That shouldn't actually happen. They initiated with a Lina stun. If Lina just runs up to you, you just walk back a little bit and stay outside of the stun radius. In this lane, they don't even have to go even. They could actually lose this bottom lane and CS a little bit, and it would be perfectly fine. Because they just need to get to a point where, the Visage is 6 and the Drow is, gets the points in the aura and the points in the ults, and then they just start fighting with the birds and all the ranged heroes.
Yep. Well, so far, promising start here for Leviathan in their aggressive tri-lane here at the bottom. For mid lane, it's not a good time right now for Brew. Brew is 18-3 CS to Vipers 33-9, but that was expected. That he might have a troublesome time doing the CS, but he does get up to his level 6, so he didn't have to deal with your typical early supports roaming in and preventing you from getting to that level 6 easily. But here we go, an early rotation here. Viper wants to leave the mid lane, goes towards the top where Shredder's getting pretty aggressive and might be baited in here, as there's your Viper strike. He's got to try to get away from one, but he won't. They take down the Alpine man, and Tidehunter's very happy about this. He gets his lane back and gets some extra CS for himself.
Yeah, probably a good rotation. He pushed the wave to the tower, and then he just walked back to his tower and TP'd. It's off.
Uh-oh, jump in,
Looks
bottom
like they're
lane.
having a go on Drow.
Can't get close enough to go for
Dire's top tower
a
is
glimpse,
under
and the
attack.
kinetic field is not going to be on its mark, so almost an opportunity to get a kill on the Drow, but not quite there.
Yep. Let's see, anyone close? It looks like Disruptor's going to pick up some mana boots
It's a pretty early
at
pickup.
the side shop. Or I
That's
guess
good.
that's the secret shop.
That's the secret shop, all right? Can you get with it? The side shop's
Alright, thanks.
over here on the side. That's why they call
The
it side shop.
Tidehunter came bottom. It looks like they're going to try to bait them into a fight.
Tidehunter does have Ravage. He's a pirate. He would love to get some booty.
Oh, and then they warded right
Yeah.
on top of
Well,
him.
look who it is. It's Panda Zoda, and we know that we don't want anything to do with that, so he's still on the hunt, though. He doesn't have a blank, so he can't get in easy, but just wants to make use of that R press right now, and if he has to go all the way mid lane, it looks like he will, but Jenkins then is going to find some farm on this Void here. He's 17-3 in the bottom. It's not too terrible as part of his tri-lane, but he's trying to make it work with what he can. But we have the rest of Leviathan crew considering a rotation towards this top. It would look like as they see out the Tidehunter and they're looking to make a go. He's going to pull out Desperate Ravage. Return he is. It catches on all three. Viper from the low ground, though, doing nice damage on Disruptor. Looks like they might be able to get a trade, and they will. No Deny is going to be there and available, so it's a 1-for-1, though better for Leviathan, only losing their support for the off lane. They pull back, and he wants that bounty. He grabs up the bounty, but he's got to get away from these two. Turns back, Primal Split. He is going to pull it out right now. He turns it back onto Visage. And the Drow also fell on that bottom lane during the meanwhile, but there we're going to keep the action, and you see he eventually gets the takedown on the Visage, now turning his attention towards Drop. Drop on the Viper, goes to the low ground. Still on pursuit, though. Kinetic Field is going to lock him in place here, but he's not level 6. He can't drop the Static Storm just yet, but it's enough for Shibby to kind of waddle himself away. So, at the end of that, Leviathan, pretty happy. They take down the Tidehunter, and they also get that Drow on the bottom lane.
Yep, and they were able to force out the Ravage and only lose a support hero.
Looks like we are going to need a bit of a pause as the Visage does disconnect. And typical lag issues, you know, this comes with your Dota. We can't seem to get through any game without a pause, apparently, but it is what it is.
So Ursa's got his Morbid Mask now, so it'll be interesting to see what time he chooses to attempt Roshan. He'll probably wait until he gets Blink Dagger. I don't know. You can pretty much do it whenever you want after you get Morbid Mask.
He doesn't have that many Roche kills on his gem, I do have to tell you. 59 for someone who wants to show off this Alpine scent, I don't think is quite enough. He's got a lot of other ones, though.
Maybe he needs to play it more in pubs.
I'm just really flaunting this set because we just really never see it. I mean, so he gets his real money's worth there. Anyways, we're going to get back and underway here. Back up we go, and it's still a promising lead here for Team Leviathan at 8-3. They are desperate to get revenge from their early Canada Cup qualifier match where HotHands did come out on top. Not by a whole lot, but they did manage to sneak it on through. So they're looking to take it here. It's a best-of-3 series, so off to a very promising start. And for HotHands, they're looking to maybe go. They want their Lena to farm up here on her solo, but I think they're onto this. So if they find an opportunity to make a move in, Viper would love to use it, but he actually shows himself. So Lena's going to have to be a little careful here.
Yep, and just as we were talking about that, he smokes into Roche.
Aha! Yes, now I will
Yes.
lasso on up this Roshan and go to town. This should be easy work here, and even Jenkins wants to get in on the action as he leaps in from the side, and I don't think anyone's contesting this.
Yeah.
It looks like they're more focused on trying to go make it go on the top lane. So this is going to be a swift Roche takedown in the benefit of Team Leviathan at the sacrifice of probably this top tier 1 tower.
Roshan
Yep.
has
Well, that was real quick. I mean, I was going to say it was going to be quick, but I felt like I just left the view, and he was at full life, so that was quick.
Dire's structures are
Nice grab.
fortified.
Well, they're going towards top, though.
Are they going to be able to get this Lena?
Lion's hungry.
Top tower is under
They get the
attack.
tower. They
Dire's
still
Listen,
want
Ninja's
more.
Panda too.
Yeah, he's waiting there in visit. Wow, one smack to the ass, and Lion's down. Now Drop looking to come in, try to get a support before he falls, and he can't do it quite yet. Lena's very low, but ooh, nope, never mind. Runs right into Tidehunter. Tidehunter's like, see ya. Quickly takes him down. Ends up being a 2-for-1 to the benefit of Leviathan, only losing their support. But they lose the tower. They get the Aegis. Still very promising for Team Leviathan.
Indeed. So they got the Roshan. They just lost the tower, right? And they didn't lose any heroes?
They got the Roche. They lost the
And they killed
tower.
Viper and Lion, I think.
Yeah, Viper, Lion, and
Oh, no, no,
only
they lost
their,
one hero.
Yeah, they lost their support, but no, they're about to lose another here. Oh, Ravage catches and takes down the Disruptor, and they also turn back, and Shibby takes down the Drow. So these exchanges are not working to the benefit of HotHands as it is right now.
Yeah.
So they lose their
The
precious core
Ravage came out
Marana.
after the split.
Yeah, it was just too little, too late. Shibby gets his
Although
blink,
that
though.
tends to happen when you have the Stro Ranger. The Druid usually feeds a little bit,
Oh, wow.
as they made it go on the bottom lane with Chrono.
They know that Drow's not going to be there as she's already been taken down. They see the
Radiant's bottom
Visage and the
tower is
opportunity.
under
They
attack.
jump on in and they make it happen. They didn't even need to use the Lena Laguna for that one as they get it done and now put their attention towards this tower. Void is slow in the creep wave here, and it looks like it's going to be easy
Dire's
grab. They need to
middle
glyph it.
tower is under attack.
Better glyph it, boys.
Dire's structures
You didn't glyph
are
it!
fortified.
What the hell's the matter with you?
Radiant's
You
bottom
got to
tower
get on the
has
glyphing,
fallen.
kids. I can't say it enough. Meanwhile, mid lane, though, I could see they're preoccupied with something else as they're trying to make an engagement happen. But, uh-oh, there's your glimpse back. Ooh, swift jump over.
It should be fine.
Nice disjoint of that Viper strike as it's not going to be happening for them. But they're still committed on this mid lane. They want to make it happen.
This Visage still isn't level 6.
Dire's
I just
middle
noticed.
tower
He's a
is
hair
under
away.
attack.
making
He
it
really
happen.
needs that level 6.
Radiant's bottom
Uh-oh,
tower is under
leap
attack.
in, they're looking to make a go here. No chrono, but no necessito as they make a go and take down the Drow. Swift grab for them. DD popped here from Shibby, and then already big damage there on your Tidehunter. Double stun, catches out. Nice grab from Team Leviathan. They quickly wipe out 4, and they are taking control of this game. Shredder also, with his own kill, gets a double. That's a full 5-man takedown.
On 3, they're all dead!
As LD would say here in the BDS houses. Now
They
with their
are all
team.
dead.
They are all dead.
Yep.
Tier 1 tower to
They are
fall.
dead.
This is a stomp.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, this is just what happens when you lose a Triverse
Radiant
Trailing. Like, if someone
structures are
aggroes you and you feed like 4 kills, I mean, this is just what's gonna happen.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Basically, anytime you have a Triverse try, it's almost whoever wins that lane pretty much wins the game.
All right.
Unless there's some like weird late game carry, I think.
Well, the late game for HotHands is more in the hands of this Drow and Visage kind of a combo, but Drow really doesn't have a whole lot. Right now, you're, kind of hoping you have, I don't know. I'm trying to, the first makings of maybe a drum, maybe a blink, but now, oh god damn it, what am I going to do? Getting smacked. Doesn't even, forget the chrono. I don't need it. If he needs to here, though, he can use it. He will. He's like, I just want to guarantee the kill.
Just gonna pop through.
Wow, back-to-back bashes make it pretty easy, I'd imagine, as Jenkins smacks her down. At the same time, it's Shibby, who gets another takedown of his own, and he wants even more. He wants birds. Give me that gold. Give it to me. Moves on in. Oh, they drop it. The stun is going to catch out the Fire Bear, and he makes his retreat. Still not letting up just yet. 20-5, and they keep getting this Drow. Drow is at 1-5. This is rough right now for
Looks
HotHands.
like they might pop the Aegis.
Oh, up at the top lane. Yeah, they're making it go on in. They get the
That's
eye.
all they're gonna get.
Man, they're just not letting up anywhere. Why are so many
They're not
HotHands
even
members
gonna get the
just
Aegis.
way out there? And he jumps on in. He makes a go. Aegis is going to fall, and he'll be right back to go for more and drop. Well, he'll drop. He goes down. Shibby, unstoppable there. Oh, Disruptor barely makes his escape, but they want more. They move on in. They take another takedown. Wow, a big slam of the Laguna. Jump in, and that's a GG. That's the quickest game I've seen in this patch. Holy moly. This is going to be an early night here, F4L, if this keeps up. 5-24. Leviathan, the first time playing together under the team name after dropping the Flipside sponsor. They put on a clinic in this game.
Yep, strong performance by the bot lane. They just basically snowballed the game off the bot lane. Ursic got a solo kill on Tide top, then they just got Roshan, and then a couple good team fights, and that was it.
That was it. So we'll just kind of rally together and hope that HotHands can formulate a better draft to make a comeback, because it's already going to be match point for them for Team Leviathan. They're looking to move on into the semi-round here of the Summit 2, presented by G2A.com Qualifiers. America Division. Beyond the Summit, bringing you the coverage. I am Coddle Guy, and joining me was, of course, Kevin, also known as F4L. Catch him at Twitter at F4LDota. Catch me at Coddle Guy, of course. Folks, we'll be back after a very, very small break for game number 2. Stick around.